All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between FoCuS and Cash, taking place here on Tide Hunters. Let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute mark of the game. FoCuS spawning as the blue orc on the top left-hand side of the map, opening things up. Altar of Storms, Orc Burrow, Barracks. Looks like it's going to be a Blade Master. No War Mill as of yet. Let's take a look. And it is going to be a Blade Master going up against a Keeper of the Grove. So Cash going to go for that, earlier pressure Keeper of the Grove, and then perhaps try and go for a Demon Hunter a little bit later, as that Keeper of the Grove is more of a tempo-based hero, able to give you early access to tree ends to be able to do a lot of early creeping, and then also having access to that entangle to try and shut down any of those early grunts. Blade Master has recently been going for more mirror image to break free from that entangle, which, does work. So countering your counter, and, that's how real-time strategy games and strategy works. Keeper of the Grove picking up a Ring of Protection +3. Meanwhile, Blade Master picks up a Mantle of Intelligence. I'm going to go ahead and use that Healing Salve, and perhaps pick up a Circuit of Nobility as well. So some nice good items here as the Keeper of the Grove finds a grunt, in the middle of the battlefield. Has to be careful, though. Cannot take or absorb too much damage from that right there, as we see a Healing Salve nicely done by FoCuS to make sure that that grunt stays topped off once again. Alright, so Giant Sea Turtle getting taken out by the Blade Master here. Archer nearby. Are we going to see an arrow onto that grunt, preventing some of that healing, as that Giant Sea Turtle will get taken down. Meanwhile, what is the Keeper of the Grove going to do? He's going to find some easy to pick off peons and, try and shut it down this way. Now, how is this really going to work? Oh, there's a deny. Are we going to see another entangle? That's exactly what we're seeing now. And FoCuS is denying these peons to deny the experience. But what, Cash could still do. Oh, still another denier there. So nicely done, beautifully done once more. Keeper of the Grove being forced to retreat back off to the north. But that is 2 peons down, and now one of them is also building up a war mill, so lumber could be an issue for FoCuS if he is not careful. Keeper of the Grove going to come back around there. There's some damage onto that Blade Master. Blade Master down to 290 hit points. Going to take a little bit more, and now trying to add a little bit more aggro again. All right, Scroll of Speed. Archer is going to try to get in harm's way. Does do that, but now she's taking a little bit too much damage, and we don't see Dust of Appearance the other way. Sea Giant right there. Keeper of the Grove could have some problems. Cash getting lost in traffic, going to be pushed back the other way, as we see the Huntresses now showing up to the party. Blade Master nearby, no Dust of Appearance. Is the Huntress going to try and... Oh, who's going to get the last shot off? There's level 4 on that Blade Master. Mantle of Intelligence picked up, as the Huntress now ensnared by the Forest Troll Trapper, taking quite a bit of damage too. Keeper of the Grove needs to retreat back. Perhaps going to try and heal up. We are nearing Tier 2, as the Blade Master going to go ahead and heal up at that Voodoo Lounge. Perhaps pick up some more items. Nope. Needs another Healing Salve charge here, as the Huntress going to go ahead and aggro, perhaps try and aggro things up a little bit more, preventing that Blade Master from healing. Now, off to the side, Cash does have this Ancient Protector hiding off. The grunts are going to spot this. And with that nearly done, this Ancient Protector pressure is going to fall short before it even gets started. A little bit of a lost opportunity there. We're going to see a detonation. We do, as the Blade Master loses some precious experience. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove still sitting at level 1 after all this time. Now, I'm going to follow it up with a Panda. Okay, so this is a Tier 2 timing push, I believe. We can see that Ancient of Lore is getting trained up. We do have Huntresses out here. The Ancient of War actually uprooting itself, making its way over. Doesn't get the improved glaives. And now, I am actually quite curious as to how this is going to go down. The Huntresses currently are unarmored, and that little bit of additional glaive bounce damage could be important if they want to try and push in against those orc burrows. Shadow Hunter is also out here on the battlefield, so if it goes for Serpent Ward first, or even Hex and then Serpent Ward, the Huntresses will need that heavy armor. Otherwise, they're going to really fall flat against any of that damage here. All right, Panda absorbing quite a bit of damage. What is going on? Shadow Hunter going to be coming across. There's a Hex, and that is going to be a problem right there. That Panda trying to get that last bit of damage. Who's going to get the last shot off? Beautifully played by FoCuS. Yeah, beautifully played by FoCuS, but the Panda does pick up the item, doesn't get the experience, and once more the Keeper of the Grove is still sitting at level 1. Blademaster off to the north side here. Shadowhunter, Grunts, Headhunters clearing up this Murloc creep camp here. Looking at the mini-map, you can see not much of it has really been cleared out by Cash. Not much on the southern side here. He hasn't cleared out a lot of creep camps. We are looking at Ancients of Lore now making their rounds out. And really, it's going to be an issue for Cash, as Cash is just falling further and further behind. Glaive bounce damage, it is bouncing across multiple targets. That little additional bounce, how much does it really do on that final hit? It does do a lot if the last unit is actually a medium armored unit, but other than that, it doesn't really be seemingly do all of that much right there. Shadowhunter, dual Mantles of Intelligence, Kodo Beast also out here on the battlefield. We can see some Shaman are here as well, as the Keeper of the Grove going to perhaps go after the giant sea turtles here. All right, are we going to do a little bit of poking? That is the question. Who's going to come out on top, as the Huntresses, well, can happily and easily now just absorb a lot of this experience, or a lot of that damage, since they are no longer unarmored targets. All right, couple of Serpent Wards will get taken down. Beastmaster is still sitting at level 1. Are we perhaps going to see a timing attack with a Scroll of the Beast now? That doesn't appear to be the case, as, well, FoCuS trying to get to level 3 on both that Blademaster and that Shadowhunter to extend his hero level advantage. And as many of you guys know, as you get later in the game, the experience advantage starts to become, well, it's still important, but the same amount of experience doesn't make the same amount of difference, since it's really the levels that make the difference there. So getting from level 4 to level 5, or level 2 to level 4, are those important numbers that really make a drastic difference. There's a Dust of Appearance, but the Blademaster was able to shake that damage there. Are we going to look, well, Keeper of the Grove and perhaps the Brewmaster trying to go after the Rock Golem creep camp here. Now, is the Keeper of the Grove perhaps going to purposely back away to give level 3 on the Brewmaster? That does appear to be the case. Blademaster is nearby. Dust of Appearance does reveal him still. So, with that said, the Blademaster doesn't want to try and test the waters. Robe of Magi on the Brewmaster, going to give him additional mana, perhaps an extra breath of fire, before handing it off to the Keeper of the Grove for additional auto attack damage. Both sides engaging. There is an Entangle. Blademaster could be in a little bit of trouble. That's some slow poison right there. Staff of Teleportation. Are we going to see another Entangle? No, we are not. The Entangle was still on cooldown, perhaps, as the Shadowhunter is now at level 3 with level 2 Serpent Wards. 49 supply compared to 49. Overall even. We're looking at the Kodo Beast giving a little bit of that damage bonus here. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove gonna drink up some Moonwell juice, make his way across the map. We are also looking at a potion of mana on that Brewmaster. Now, remember, the Scroll of the Beast will not help those Dryads. They are magic immune, and even with that, there are Shamans that could use Purge, but that Purge mainly going to be used to try and shake off some Treants and perhaps shake off those Entangles. That's going to be the important part there. There is a dual Serpent Wards. In comes the engagement. There's a couple of Purges already. Those were taken down quickly, as now damage coming across here. Are we perhaps going to see some Breath of Fire? Dryads getting focused down by those Serpent Wards. Remember, 27 to 30 damage each. One Dryad already down, another Dryad nearly down right there. It does get taken down. So triple Serpent Wards doing the job, as the Serpent Wards were microed and focused. FoCuS's Raider, however, it looks like it is not going to be able to get away. One or two more shots, it gets taken down, as the Panda looking to put in more pressure. 49 supply compared to 57. Cash now with a slight supply advantage, but obvious economic disadvantage, as FoCuS's expansion now nearly up and operational. Heading back off to the north side here, Dryads, Huntresses getting ready to make a move. Raiders headhunters, Kodo Beast, now making their way back down in from the north as well. How is this all going to unfold here as the Raiders look to engage? Down here on the southern side, more Raiders poking apart at these Moonwells. Moonwell's going to get taken down. Cash is going to be losing a couple of these Moonwells, but are a couple of perhaps Raiders going to get lost in transit as well? No Raider lost in transit. Raider able to actually delay the incoming army a little bit more, as here we go, Ancient of War trying to absorb damage. Serpent Wards in that frontline spot. Well, Shadowhunter quickly getting out of there. Kodo Beast going to do a dine and dash off of a Huntress. 57 supply compared to 54. And even though Cash has the supply advantage, it doesn't feel like he has the lead right now. Hero level definitely favoring that Shadowhunter. Blade Master is also sitting at level 3. FoCuS has this additional Expo off to the north. Lumber could potentially become a problem as FoCuS heals up and is ready to move on out. All right. One Raider down to the south side here, just knocking down on a Moonwell as the Dryads try to finish off a couple of these peons. All right, what's going to go down here? This battle can still go any way, and any advantage could be lost in a moment. There's a Breath of Fire. Shadowhunter now sitting at level 4. There is a Scroll of the Beast, but remember, Dryads do not get that bonus, so it's not a full 25% damage bonus across the entire army. Healing Wave bouncing around. Dryads are actually in the front line right now as the Huntresses were forced to try and back up, and that is going to get them within range of all of that piercing damage. Keeper of the Grove now sits at level 3, does have a Scroll of Healing. Blade Master trying to escape is Dust of Appearance. Healing Wave does keep him alive as the Scroll of Town Portal now onto that Keeper of the Grove. However, who's going to get taken down first? Invul Potion, Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove gets taken down. Blade Master stays alive at 74 hit points. Breath of Fire trying to blow things over here, trying to take down some more units. 38 supply compared to 50. Brewmaster now sitting at level 4. Are we going to see some more Breath of Fire come across here to finish things off here? Brewmaster has the Potion of Mana, gets purged here. What is he going to try and do? Trying to push back the other way, trying to stay alive. He needs to keep this Brewmaster alive. There's a Potion of Mana. There's a Breath of Fire, trying to do some, well, very micro-intensive things in that last fight, but it does not go well. Brewmaster ends up falling. Playing at the edge of a sword was FoCuS, and Cash battling it out right here between the Keeper of the Grove and that Blade Master. Well, ultimately the Invul Potion won out over the Scroll of Town Portal as the Keeper of the Grove did get taken down. Cash knew that he needed to somehow stick around in that battle. Otherwise, the economic advantage of FoCuS would have just pushed him even further. So that's the reason why Cash stuck around in that battle, trying to finish off that Blade Master, unable to do so. And the Invul Potion, that 7 seconds of invulnerability coupled with Healing Wave and, well, 2 Healing Waves cooldown, able to keep that Blade Master alive and also focus down to that Brewmaster. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.